All right, camera will be off this stream just because the office is finished. Waiting on a few things, got a few things kind of going on. So might be cameraless for a little bit until the new one gets in and, I kind of get finished with the office. But it is Monday, happy Monday. As part of our weekly video series, guys, we like to do live streams on Monday where we kind of just talk about, the streams. We kind of just talk about the markets. First things first, shout out to the stream sponsors over at CoinCatch and Breakout Prop. CoinCatch offers a lot of good pairings, a lot of good trading, a lot of decent liquidity. No KYC, no VPN, so shout out to CoinCatch. And then Breakout Prop, a crypto prop firm that is doing pretty well over the course of their launch, and happy to support them going forward. So a massive scam had popped up of Libra. So we'll kind of just look at this chart and we'll see kind of what is going on. So, this is why I just don't fuck around with, the LA guys, right? The streamers, all these guys that are pumping all these memes. Memes seem to be fucking topping. Like, they honestly really do. I think that President of the United States, Argentina, so many people are launching memes. It seems like people are kind of fleeing Solana a little bit to kind of get out of that casino. And I'm not saying that they're going to rotate to Ethereum and utilities or anything like that, but I will say that there is just a lot of shadiness going on within the Sol casino. Can people make money? Yes. But is there a lot of fucking people that are doing insider trading with all this? I mean, there was just an interview with CoffeeZilla going on with Hayden basically saying that it's okay to snipe your own launches, just all this craziness. And for me, guys, I know where I stand. I'm a trader. I like focusing on BTC and Ethereum. That's what I love to do. I love margin. I love leverage. I know my niche. I dabble every now and then with memes to try and catch a home run, but it's mostly just been losers. So, for me, it's just nice to kind of stay away from all this kind of stuff, especially when, presidents of different countries and international governments get fucking involved. It's just crazy. So I have no idea what's going to happen or what the outcome is going to be with Libra. It seems to just be that a lot of illegal activity is going on with this launch. But, at the same time, if you're a trader and you can kind of make money from it, whatever, for me, this kind of stuff I just stay away from. But we're just going to dive into NPOC levels. I'm just going to start with BTC, guys. Now, this is kind of the game plan that I've been looking for a while now, right? So along the lows, we've had a couple of NPOC prints that have offered some really good buy opportunities. We had this one down here at 91K, and then we also had this one that just recently closed at like that 95K area. And both of those were long entrances, right? 95,087, and then we also had the long down here at 91,794. So this entire area has been a buying opportunity for us on BTC, right? Between that 90K, 95K. So for me, it's still like, why would you get bearish at support? You don't anticipate for support to break down. Support is labeled support for a reason. So it's there to hold. So I don't anticipate the opposite to be happening, especially when BTC's retested it so many times and we've gotten really good reactions right now. People will always argue that it's been retested so many times and it's getting weaker and weaker. I get that, right? And we do have game plans for that. We do have a potential deviation down into this 82K NPOC print, which is possible on BTC. Depending on headlines, if something happens within, all this Argentina bullshit within crypto and Trump and Melania, if there's just some sort of black swan event, I do think that BTC can deviate down into that 80K range, 79K range. But as of right now, I'm not anticipating support to be broken. And so for now, I still think that BTC is going to look to retest these local NPOC print of 104,802 and 107,877. So does that mean that we might have some chop at the lows? Yes, we kind of talked about this previously, talked about this last week, where maybe we have some retest of NPOC prints within this area, ultimately maybe sweeping the lows of this wick, maybe even sweeping all the way the lows that we created here on February 2nd. But overall, I still think that, we're not going to just jump out of this right away and we're just going to go back to all-time highs. It's going to take time. Some bouncing within some low-term time frame ranges, bouncing within just that lower limit is what I'm looking for on BTC. So nothing crazy. And then the next short that we have is still up higher. Again, not really interested in shorting until we kind of get back into that all-time high area. Based off NPOC levels, there's nothing really new on ETH. I think it's the same thing as BTC, really. Like, if you look at it, that sideways chop at the lows, chopping people up, people who are impatient closing, jumping back in, over trading, that sort of thing. Again, patience. Patience is going to be key to get out of some of these levels. Now, do I think that it goes to the moon right away and BTC and ETH are at all-time highs? No, I think it's just going to take time. So let's look at some NPOC levels on Ethereum. So the long had hit and we're still in the long. This was the level. It was 2,595. Wanted a retest of that level to long into, and we got it. So that's currently the game plan, an ETH long. We have some targets at 2,966, 3,251, 3,361, and I do think that Ethereum does jump out of this. Nothing has changed on NPOC levels. Once today closes, we can kind of update you on that. And then the next short is the same as well. We're shorting a little bit higher. If again, again, you want to be more active on shorts, you could potentially even short this 3K retest where, probably close this out and then maybe a breakdown retest to another NPOC. Sol's kind of a tricky one. I still think long at that lower limit. A lot's going to depend on certain things with Sol. Like Sol is going to be at the mercy of the meme coins, right? So if meme coins are doing well, I think Sol will do well. I don't know. This is a tricky one. I'm adding to my Sol position now just because it is lower limit and I don't want to get, super bearish at a high term time frame support level. Because if you look at it, lower limit is a very, very key level on Ethereum, that 180, 170 area. So again, still planning on this to hold. Will it take time? Probably. It probably will be one of those things where it chops people up and then we finally see a move. So for me, it's again, a support level that I'm not anticipating to break down. So I'm looking to still build a position in Sol at these levels. This whole move was very inorganic in my opinion, just because it was the day that Trump launched Trump, right? So that's why Sol's just weird, because I think that this all-time high break was just a little bit inorganic for what was going on. So I don't know. I still think lower limit's a good bidding opportunity. I still think that, regardless, I have a game plan. It's a support level. Still planning on adding to my Sol, but I do think that it's at a decent area while a lot of people are kind of giving up, thinking that, everything's going to be dead. Sol can succeed without memes. Just remember that. We don't need memes for Sol to succeed. It's already proven that it doesn't need that type of niche, that type of window to succeed, because Sol did great without memes. And I still think it will do good without memes. But I also think that memes aren't going anywhere. I just think that the gambling of memes is going to end. I still think memes have a spot within crypto. Doge has proven that, it stayed around for so long. I still think that those big time market cap memes are going to stick around. Sol has utility plays as well, right? So that's just kind of the thing. I think just based on the technicals, it's at a support area when everybody's getting frustrated and selling. So that's where I look to long. So that's why I'm long Sol, and that's why I look to continue to add to Sol over the next, couple of days. Now, I don't expect it to be something that we jump out of quickly. Again, patience within this. We may trade, like I said, at this lower limit for a little bit, faking people out before we finally get that move to the upside. So patience, guys. It's going to take time. Things aren't going to really happen right away. AAVE is something that I do like. Again, all of these setups are very similar to where they're kind of like trading at the lows. They all had a long wick to the downside that most people want to get filled, but that doesn't mean that it is going to get filled, right? So I like AAVE higher, just based off lower limit retest. I did take profits into today just because it was pretty close to median ML, did make some decent profits, and I didn't want to get greedy. So I did take AAVE profits, partial, but I still think it can go higher. ENA, same thing. I mean, ENA is just one of those ones that's beaten up. This is one of those ones that I do kind of plan on holding and building a position over time because I want to. ENA, I think, has really good opportunity, especially if Ethereum staking gets legitimized and all that sort of stuff, because Athena is a staking protocol built on Ethereum. So again, it's kind of like a counterplay off of that news, right? And I think that a lot of altcoins, if that does happen, will kind of start to pop off based off that. Does that mean that I think it's going to jump out of this zone tomorrow or next week? No, I still think, again, patience, right? We're given a zone within ENA right now. And if you can build a position within this zone, right, between 50 cents and 40 cents, you have a 10-cent range to build a position, right? So that's just what I'm looking for on ENA. I think that not getting overexposed, still, giving myself enough room to add lower because I want to. It's on a 70% move to the downside, just nuts. So I think ENA does cook when things start to cook. It's just not cooking yet. Love Ondo, again, kind of breaking down out of this range here, but still an area that I think is a good buying opportunity. For me, I'm long from a lot lower, so I'm not really interested in adding in this area, but I still think if you don't have exposure and you want to get exposure, that it's a decent area to be adding to. Coming off of a retrace of about 57% on that wick, I still think Ondo is going to be one of the strongest assets in the next 3 to 4 years. So still going to hold my entry. I'm not really looking to add. I'm happy with what I'm holding. As far as new entries, you can go down to the low-term time frames and maybe make it a little bit more interesting or a little bit more easier to find some entries. Something like this, right? Where, again, just kind of sitting at median ML, not really interested. But if we do retest this 85-cent area, I think that would be a good area to kind of get into on Ondo. BNB is holding up really, really well after everything that's happened. I mean, it's still technically around all-time highs. I mean, it's going to be at the mercy of everything else, but I still like BNB. The fact that it didn't get crushed that much and it's still kind of holding at, like I said, all-time highs is just showing that it does deserve a spot to continue to lead the bull market, or at least to continue to go higher in the bull market, right? Personally, I don't have a leveraged entry. I have spot BNB. I've been holding it for years, but As far as like a leveraged entry, you know, I would probably have to wait for lower if we get it at least 600 before considering an entry on that. But for me, could be just like a great breakout on BNB and not even get that retest, you know. Shout out to all you guys joining the stream. Appreciate everybody joining. Wednesday, we'll have the NPOC video out to you guys. Gonna be over in the Telegram probably the rest of the day, sending you guys some charts, sending you guys some updates on anything that I see. And I will see you over in the Telegram. Peace out.